I apologize for my dog. She's being ridiculous right now. So hopefully she stops. I'm Mackenzie. I grew up in a nominally Christian home. We didn't really go to church regularly, but my parents always raised me on Bible stories and on the gospel and really taught me to love people like Christ loved people. So that was something that was always a big part of my childhood. I asked Jesus into my heart whenever I was like 6, and I wouldn't say that that was the time that I got saved, but I definitely feel like that was when God started to work in my heart for the first time. And around 7th grade, I started to have questions and doubts on whether or not God was real, and just if he was good and holy and all of the things that I had been taught that he was. And a lot of that came from the fact that my best friend's sister had been diagnosed with leukemia a couple of years back and had suddenly relapsed. So I think that just brought up a lot of feelings and a lot of questions, and I felt like a bad Christian because of those questions. So I suffered in silence for a really long time, but then I came to the conclusion that this faith had never been my own. I felt like I didn't have good faith for asking these questions, but then I realized it wasn't my faith to begin with. It was just what I had always been taught. So I went to scripture and I was like, I have to find out if this is what I believe. And God was gracious enough to reveal himself to me. I really understood the gospel for the first time. I understood that being the good Christian girl was not enough to save me. Even if I did everything right, I still would not be able to measure up to God's standard of justice and goodness. But God, knowing all of that, still chose to send his son to die on the cross for my sins, and so that I could experience salvation and have a relationship with him. So that was when I became a believer, and not long after I got baptized, and since then God has continued to reveal himself to me. And yeah, so that's my story. I apologize if you can hear my dog the whole time. So yeah.